One of the reasons I'm covering these simpler script triggers is to teach you the logistics of the script triggers. In this example, I want to teach you an important difference between pre versus post script triggers. Our example will be scripting the saving of a record. Now we haven't seen that yet because I've made it automatic saves. We go to layout mode and then go to layout setup. You'll see that we have this checkbox checked here. Save record changes automatically. If I remember correctly, the default for a brand new file is to have this unchecked, which we're going to do right now. I prefer the efficiency of saving records automatically. I think it's easier and safer. Let's see what it does when we go into browse mode and come in here, take the E off there, commit the record, and you'll see we have save changes to this record, save, don't save, and cancel. Well, if we cancel, we're still editing. You can see the cursor there. And if we try to commit again, we can say don't save, goes back to what it was. And if we then again modify it and hit save, then it actually saves it. Now this makes it inefficient in my opinion. Sometimes you want to have this. Sometimes you really want to a client ask for it or it makes sense for the particular solution. But I prefer to rely on things like the backups or a change log. I think those are better because this happens so infrequently that somebody makes a mistake unknowingly because they could come in here and go, oh, I didn't know I made a change and I shouldn't save these changes, or I did all this changing and then I don't want to do it. That typically doesn't really happen. It's not a common thing, and if it does happen, then you can go to a backup or you can go to your log, change log. But in limiting the user, making it slower for them to do input, making them answer this question every time they edit the record can be really disconcerting, really make it less usable in my opinion. But we're going to show you how to script this because I really don't like the way it comes up. I want to make sure it's got a nice ring to it. You can do anything to it you want. You can have your message you want. You can make it do any kind of steps you want. Not just we're going to do a very basic version, of course, with very basic steps, but you can take it further if you need to, saying doing certain things on commit. And we have another example file here that shows you the basics here. And so if we come in here and change this to a C, you see that we get a different message here. Would you like to save this record, revert, or continue editing? So these are the same buttons, just with different wording. So here's the first difference is that you can actually change the way, with a very simple script, change the way that you interface with your customers, the users of your database. So if you edit, you're still editing here because you can see that I can click here and it doesn't, I can revert it if I want to. I can come in here and save it if I want. All the stuff works the same. I'll get it back to the way it should be spelled. Let's take a look at what's happening here. We'll go to layout mode, go to layout setup, go to script triggers, and you can see on record commit, run the on record commit script. So let's take a look at that script. So first thing it does is ask you the question, and the question is still a little generic with the word record, but we'll fix that later. But you can see the three button choices, 1, 2, and 3. And you can see here that button 1 is not a choice here. That's because if we choose to save, which is button choice 1, we don't need to do anything. Just continue on the script. It's going to save it. If we choose button choice 2, which is revert, it's going to actually revert it. But here's where the magic happens. If we choose 3, which is continue editing, we can actually stop the commit from happening so it doesn't save it by using this script step with a text result of 0. Now you can put any kind of formula you want in here, a long case statement to test it, but the simplest approach is to give it a false so it eats that script trigger or eats that action that causes script trigger. That's because on record commit, as we saw, is a pre, meaning that the script doesn't run, or I should say the action doesn't run until after the script runs. That means that the action of committing the record, which can be done many ways. You can click outside of in the white area, you can switch records, you can switch layouts, you can close a file, all those things will commit it. But when you have that script trigger running, it's going to say, oh, he committed the record. I'm going to first run the script and then actually do the commit. So what we're doing here is we're actually telling it with the edit is to not do the commit, to exit with the result of 0. So let's copy this whole formula here, this whole script. Actually, we can just copy the script here. Switch back to our customers. Go in here and paste in, make sure we're selected over here. I'll put it at the end here. Paste it right there. There's our on record commit. We can call it whatever we want at this point, save record. And we can come in and make things a little bit more dynamic by, let's say, putting in quote, get layout table name. There we go, a little spelling error there. We've done this many times before, layout table name, I think I got that one. And then put proper in front of it, so that this works across all layouts. There we go. Let's see what I messed up here. Layout table name. Let's see what types in here. We got to get in here so it's not let me see what I typed wrong. I'm gonna have to do it down here. Layout table name. Oh, I didn't get the extra T there. There we go. Okay. I did need the extra T. I just took it out. There we go. Now I've got it typed in properly. So now we've got it dynamic here. Everything else is dynamic. We're good to go. So now we've got a script that works across any table you want to have this action occur. So we're going to save that. We're going to come in here. And it's very important that we have this checked because we don't want this message coming up. We want it to, when nothing happens, when it's saved, we want to just do its normal save record changes automatically. And then we're going to go to layout, show state and layout setup. We're going to go to the script triggers section, and on record commit already has one running. So we have to integrate these two buttons together, or these two scripts together, log record changes, because we can't say run both these scripts. It would be nice if you could put multiple scripts, so that would be ideal, but you can't. So we're going to go find that one, and there it is right there. And we have to figure out a way to put this script in here. So I'm going to start at the beginning, perform script, save record. So when we run this first, we're going to have to somehow pass to this script from here something that says don't run the rest of this. So my first thought is I'll put in a halt script, right? That'll stop it. If this script runs and it gets to this condition, it'll halt it. It'll first exit and then halt. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is it's going to exit the script and never get to the halt. So the halt's not going to work here. We actually have to get that over into here. So we're going to put in if, and there's a calculation function that goes along with this script trigger called get script result. This will tell you whatever the exit script passed into the script behind it, because the exit script's going to stop the save record script and then come back to the script that called it and continue running it. Halt scripts halts everything. Exit says, oh, just halt the current script and go back to work. So we can test that script result here and see if it equals 0. Put the end if down here, put an else, and then put the halt script here. That should do it. Let's take a look at what we've got here. So now we've got these two scripts integrated together. And what's going to happen is if we do say we want to continue editing, it's not going to stop everything. So let's get our data viewer up here. Put our current here. Make it a little bit smaller. Get our script debugger. Come in here. You'll see we're going to run some other scripts. Make the change. Commit. Going to run some other scripts here. There's a log current record, which you'll see $ changes go into here. Then it's going to do the window title. Then it's going to run this. We're going to step really over these ones and then step into this one. We're going to choose edit here because that's the one that we want to have. Other ones don't matter. They'll be fine. So edit. It runs that exit script. If we come over here, we'll see get script result is 0, right? So it should be good and halt the script. So it never runs that, although we still have our changes in there. So as soon as we do decide to play this whole thing through and save it, those changes will go in there and the log will actually occur. But now it's coming to my attention that possibly the revert is something we don't want to have happen. And let's test that out. I may be wrong, it may be fine. So let's put the E back in. Let's do that. Put the E back in. Do that, do this one. Step into that one, run that. We're going to say revert. Reverts the record. And you can see how it's going to do the changes anyhow, even though we revert it. We don't want that. So we actually have to do this for revert also. So I think what we can do is just come in here. And let's see. So this is a little bit trickier because we don't want to eat that commit. We want to commit the record. Otherwise, we're going to run it again. We need to revert the record. And at least that's what I think is going to run. Let's try a test here. Let's put just exit script 0 and see what happens. So we're going to put in an E here. Turn on our script debugger. Commit. Go into that one. Hit revert. I don't know if the revert does a commit or not. Let's see what happens. So we revert it, goes back to what it was. Exit the script. It halts it. And you can see we still have these changes here. Those changes really should go away. But let's see if the commit happened. Well, the commit did happen, so that's fine. So that will work for that. But we need these changes to go away here so they don't accidentally get done somewhere else. So it's getting to be more complicated than we thought integrating these two together. So all we're going to do is say set variable $sign changes to quote, and we're done. That's all we need to do. Make sure it comes before the X script, and we fix the script so it works perfectly here and integrates with our logging. A little more complicated. It may not be that complicated for you if you don't need that complexity. All you really need is what we have in this example file, which will be included with it.